Hi everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, and I'm happy because the soap operas are not letting me down for this week. Um, okay, so we have an A, B, and a C storyline here. Um, A storyline is Mariah and Boston. Now, I was the one who said when they said she's gonna go somewhere else, I said, well, I guess we're not gonna see Cameron Grimes. I was wrong because now we've seen Cameron Grimes a lot, which is great because I love her and always have from the time I was a teenager and she was a teenager too, I think. Um, okay, so for her side of it, she's in therapy or whatever to get over her past and get over all that stuff and try to make a new start, right? Okay, so but it was really odd today, and it was kind of touching and odd at the same time because she got to act with Tristan Rogers, which we unfortunately lost a couple months ago. So it was kind of jarring at first to see him because I know what really happened. And so I was like, what? And then I realized that they must have taped it before, obviously before, but I was like, okay. So it felt kind of meta for a second, but then I was like, oh, okay. So then she's talking to him. And when she's talking to him, we get the exposition, which I always talk about, which is just a fancy word for backstory and more of the story that you can't really tell any other way. I mean, I guess an actor or actress could go into monologues, but it's kind of weird with only one person. So it's kind of better to do a dialogue form, you know. So you're telling someone the story and kind of talking to someone. So it's not so awkward. But yeah. So she tells us that she didn't unalive anybody, which we kind of figured out by the information given by the hotel people or whatever. Because remember the guy that she supposedly went upstairs with, um, he was really freaked out and he almost forgot to take his credit card. Remember? So nothing happened to him, but she just confirmed that because she said, and then of course we have Ian Ward, you know, telling her, tell me all the details. And so she says, well, I thought that if I unalive somebody, I could get you out of my head. But I didn't do anything because unlike you, I have decency. And she screamed it. And I'm like, whoa, okay. Um, so yeah. So then she hadn't done anything. Um, you know, like that. Um, okay. So storyline B is Tessa on the other side. What's happening with Tessa? And Tessa and Daniel kissed yesterday. But the reason I was opposed to it, which I detailed in the last video, was because we have a storyline on Bone the Beautiful, which is that they took advantage of Will. I'm using their words, okay? That Luna took advantage of Will, and it resulted in a pregnancy for her, and she tricked him into so she would have the Spencer heir, thinking that would be the key to her freedom. Okay, given that's the storyline, I did not want a similar storyline on YNR. And plus, let's be completely honest, or I'll be completely honest here. Um, I really like Michael Grosade and Kate Fairbanks as actors and characters. So I really don't want their characters to be put in a situation that's like that. And plus, besides, okay, which this is the way they went about it because Tessa was really drunk yesterday. She was bumping into walls. That's really drunk, okay? And then we see on the flip side that Daniel was really drunk too, or at least semi drunk, because he made a comment today about, oh, I must have really been drunk, more drunk than I realized, because I shouldn't have told you what I told you. And all he said was that he was falling in love with her, which is true. I mean, you can see in the acting and the way they talk to each other and the way they like to be in the same space, all the things. So it's like, okay. Um, but the angle they're taking is that she can't quite move on yet because even though Mariah wants to move on and basically asks for a separation at least and probably a divorce, she doesn't feel right just giving up on the marriage and partnership and everything. So I think sadly, which I say sadly because see, I'm kind of torn between I want them to be together, Tessa and Mariah, because they are an LGBTQ couple, right? Okay. And I'm also still a little salty on the fact that they were broken up in Pride Month. Okay. Like you didn't have to do it then, but whatever. So yeah, I feel like the right thing to do would be to give him a fair shot when Mariah is Mariah again, and then they can try, and if it doesn't work out, then fine. So yeah. Um, but I do like that they wrote in the script that Tessa said, in another time, I might be able to fall in love with you too. So that got me a little bit of hope because I was like, well, I like the idea. I just don't like the timing of it for now. I don't mean forever. Just, you know. Okay. So then the C storyline is Noah is still in the hospital. And of course, we can kind of guess that he's going to be okay, but we don't have the confirmation yet because it's still Sharon and Nick talking to him and trying to kind of, I don't know, will him alive. Although we all know that's not necessary because Lucas Adams, I think is his name, is gonna replace Noah. So, um, yeah, okay. And also, we have to have the buildup of all this stuff around it because there was a detective in Sienna, Cameron Braun, who we have to understand what the connection is, but we'll get there someday. And so that's where we are with that. So that's why there's three storylines. Um, okay, let's see. Well, at this point, I just want them to unveil like the new Noah, and the new face and whatever. And give me all the details, backstory of how is Sienna connected to all this and all the stuff. I want to know all the details now because you've got me hyped up for the reveal. So just reveal it. You know, that's where I am. Okay, let's see. Yep, that's about it. So, be on the lookout. I'd say in a couple months. Well, hold on. We're in October, so they're not going to do it for November sweeps. Okay, maybe in well, but then May would be a little off. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what they're gonna do with the Mariah and Tessa thing, and if they're gonna do it during a sweet time or not. I don't know yet. So, we'll just have to keep our eyes open. And I'll let you guys know what happens. As it happens, of course. Okay. Bye, everybody.